Hi, I'm Jan Harrell. I come from Houston, Texas. I am a jeweler, a metalsmith, and an enamelist, and most of all, a teacher. I'm here in beautiful Jefferson, Wisconsin at Cool Tools again, and I'm going to show you some hot tips to do with one of my favorite tools, the Swanstrom disc cutter. We can make projects like this that use the disc cutter to make the center hole and the outside edge. And we can also make simple earring components to be used later on in many, many projects. There's no reason to ever saw out a circle when you have a tool like this to do the job for you. These are components that are sold here, and while they're lovely, design-wise, you might want to expand your repertoire of what you can do. And this disc cutter can be used in many ways, and it really shows your creativity. The tools we'll be using in this video are the Swanstrom disc cutter. Say that fast 10 times. They fit into a rubber disc like this, and that keeps them in place. It also keeps it from rusting. Remember, I come from Houston, and everything rusts, so this rubber is a nice baffle against the humidity down there. The disc cutter is this big thing that you don't want to drop on your foot. And I've put a piece of old flooring tile that I had at home underneath here to baffle the sound when we go to hit it, which is another reason I've got the hearing protection on. If you do repetitive loud noises, you need to protect your ears. We're going to use a lubricant to protect our pieces so that we can use this wonderful tool for many, many years to come. We're going to use this 2-pound brass dead blow hammer mallet because when we hit the top of these steel tools, if you don't use a brass mallet, these will mushroom out, and then you have kind of hurt your tools. I don't like to hurt my tools. I like to keep them forever. These are fabulous. These are called centering punches. So if I want to make a perfect disc that has the same internal measurement as outside, I can use this to create that form. Over here, we're using some of the 24 gauge Cool Tools textured patterned material. There are many, many, many patterns to choose from. I've just got a small selection here that I will enamel later on in another video. I also have some blank material here that's the same gauge that I will use to balance the blow when I hit the discs. So be sure when you're using the disc cutter, you have on eye protection and also ear protection. So let's select the largest disc cutter in the set. I'm going to take some lubricant and get this piece ready to go, and then I'm going to select the hole that matches this particular size. We're just going to make a plain circle, really nice to do in this material. Here I have some beautiful patterned copper in 24 gauge. I'm going to put it underneath the largest hole here, and I'm going to put another piece of 24 gauge on the opposing side. I'm going to tighten this down, and this is a wonderful feature of this disc cutter. If you have to hit it twice in a normal disc cutter, your pattern shifts and your metal moves and you make a double halo. That's not great if you've worked real hard to get that material underneath here and you can't use it. So this tightens the material down. We're going to put our lubricated disc inside here, and then we're going to hit it. And look at that wonderful circle, perfectly round, ready for almost anything that you would want to use it for. Now, the other fun part about the disc cutters is the centering punch. You first decide what size the center of your hole is going to be. So I'm going to pick this one. And just be sure that that is the punch that fits in there. It's always a good visual. I'm going to put my material underneath there. I will put my 24 gauge other stock on the other side, and then I'm going to lubricate. Oh, and I save all these little guys because someday I'm going to make something wonderful out of all the little component parts. Just wait. Now, I've got that hole in the piece. To make a washer, and I'll do it on one of these bigger holes so that you can see it, I'm going to find the centering punch that fits into that hole. And that's this one. When it fits into the hole, you wiggle it, you can't move it anymore. So I know that's in the center, and I can make a perfect washer out of this. I'm going to tighten it down with my buffer on the other side. Now, here's the part you want to be sure about. I teach at a school, and my students always hammer this. Don't do that. This thing can't cut, but your punch can. So find the punch that fits into that hole. Use your lubricant again on the edges. Oh, look at that. Perfectly centered, ready to be made into a piece, an earring component. And this gauge that we're working with is wonderful for enamel because it's so lightweight. I think that's it for the circles today. The next thing I want to do is an offset circle because they're really fun to do and they really look different from a mass-produced item. I'm going to take the same printed material and I'm going to cut a small hole for wherever the center is going to be. So I'm selecting the same hole we did in the previous example. I'm putting that and testing it there. I've got my balancing 24 gauge on the other side. Now, I kind of like to look at the piece at this point, and that's where one of Cool Tools' handy templates comes in, because you can visualize how offset you want this. And I turn it over and I use it on the back side because I'm going to draw on it with a Sharpie. So let's make this one pretty offset. And you could select any variety of offset that you want on here, but this gives me enough room that I can still enamel without enamel chipping off, and a nice area to showcase the rest of the enameled area. I'm going to put this upside down so I can read the Sharpie through the top. I'm aligning it with the black Sharpie line. And when I get that centered, I'm going to put my 24 gauge on the opposing side. I'm going to tighten it down, lubricate again. Wonderful little piece. Maybe a little close to the edge. I'm going to show you some examples. If these were just going to be not enameled pieces and they were just in metal, you could probably get by with this closeness to the edge. Let me show you another one. But since I always think about copper having enamel on top of it, I try to make it so I can be very versatile. This could be a metal piece, it could be a piece that has copper on it, enamel on it. But this little edge here makes enamel very unhappy. It doesn't like to be scooched into a little corner. It just chips off. Enamel likes kind of a big field. It doesn't like to go around corners. It likes its own little space. So just a great variation on using these. These can actually be domed. So if you had this component and you domed it, look at how beautiful that is. And this is the same patterned material that Cool Tools has, I don't know, like 50 million of them at least. But the two colors of enamel, and notice I've put transparent on the front, and ooh, that's dirty. I put opaque on the back. So you can change what the front and back look like, and it makes it a really dual-sided pendant component. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you give this new tool a try. Bye.
Visit our Learning Center at cooltools.us for more cool jewelry making videos. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to sign up for our email list to be the first to hear about new videos, new products, and other cool stuff from Cool Tools.